Well, good afternoon, folks. Here's a short video I've been meaning to do for a little while, and hopefully it's going to help a few people. It's something you can do to relayer your scenery. Now, there is a tool within Flight Simulator 2020, and I've no idea really how this might work with 2024 because I haven't explored that far yet. But this is to try to help some Flight Sim 2020 viewers of the channel who are struggling with scenery where they get double runways or where the scenery isn't fully displaying, and they need to move that scenery to the very top of the scenery library. Now, this method is going to be where we basically edit the Content.Xml file, which is risky in some cases, but it won't be risky the way that I'm doing it, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So first thing we need to do is to locate the Content.Xml file. So if you go to your community folder where you store your scenery normally, or where the sceneries are installed. So here's mine, and as you can see I've got various bits and pieces. So as you can see I've got the Microsoft Store version of Flight Simulator, and you can see the path here, packages, you got this thing here, localhost packages, community. So if we go up 2 levels, we click the local cache folder, or double click this at the top here, and this will bring you to this folder itself, and you can see local cache, local state. Now double click the local cache folder, and there you will see the Content.Xml file. Now, in order to preserve your current situation safely, what we need to do is copy this file, right click, select copy, and then paste that copy somewhere else. I've set up a folder here called empty, and there's my copy, and this is the version, this is the file we're actually going to work on, so we don't actually touch the current existing file in the simulation. Here's also a scenery that I don't have trouble with because it works okay at the moment, but for the purposes of this quick tutorial, let's suggest that this RD preset Salzburg Airport is giving us double runways or issues when we install the scenery into the community folder as normal. So one way of trying to sort out those double runways is to move the scenery to the top of the scenery file library. Now you can do that in 2020 using the there's a tool in there that you can do it, which I personally found rather confusing. Or you can edit the Content.Xml file. Now the way to edit this is simply select it, right click, select open with, and you want to open it with Notepad. So click Notepad, and here's the file. Okay, so here's the Content.Xml file, the copy that we made from the original in its simulator location. And as you can see, there's a certain method here. Look at the syntax. There's a certain way this is all typed out, and it's all case sensitive. Now we don't touch the first 2 lines there, and we don't touch the last line, okay, because those lines, they enclose whatever code has been put in. That's the beginning and the end piece of code that encloses whatever has been put into the scenery library layer. Now I have Navigraph installed, so Navigraph nav database is always priority 1. And as you can see, I've got Tulsa here, the scenery by Fly Too High, which I had problems with double runways. So I use this method to insert it into the Content.Xml file at the top layer, which would be priority 2 because it's always behind the nav database. And below that we've got Navigraph nav data, which is the last priority. No other sceneries below it that I put in yet. So that's the priority 3. So what we want to do is we want to take the RD presets airport, and we want to put it at priority 2, above Tulsa, but below the priority 1 nav base. So what we do then is we select the folder with the RD preset scenery, click again to highlight it, right click to copy, bring up the Content.Xml file. Now if you place the cursor at the end of the priority 1 line and then press the enter key on your keyboard, that opens up a space. So now you can do Control V, or you can simply click paste, and that will put our RD presets airport in the right position or the right order in the scene in the Content.Xml file. All we have to do now is we've got two things we need to do. We need to correct that line of code so it accurately reflects that line of code, obviously with the different name. Okay, and then lastly, we want to change the priority order, because Salzburg will now become 2, Tulsa will become 3, and the last one, nav data, will become 4. So, place the cursor at the beginning of the RD presets line. First we need a left angle bracket, and then we type package name exactly as it appears above. Then the equal sign, then the quote sign. So now we've got package name equals, and we've got our scenery there now sitting at the second position. Now we have to close this, so again it's the quote sign, then there's a space, and then we type priority, and then equals, then a quote again, and we now type 2 because we want it to be line 2. Okay, and we close this piece of code with a slash. Actually, we do the quote first. We put a quote there, then we do a slash, and then we do the right angle bracket. And if you look closely at these two lines, you see we got, say, priority through there. These two lines are exactly the same. Priority equals quote to quote slash angle bracket. Priority equals quote to quote slash angle bracket. So the code is now set correctly. All we need to do is change the numbering. So this always stays at num priority 1. So now Salzburg will become 2. The Tulsa scenery that I've got already there will now become layer 3. And the bottom Navigraph nav data will become layer 4. So now we've got the code correct and we've got the numbering correct. The last thing to do is simply tidy up the file by simply putting the cursor there and just simply move that. Okay, so now this is the edited file, and as you can see, if you look down the list and look at the syntax, everything is correctly put in. We've simply put RD presets airport in correctly with the right syntax to make it work. So having done that, we save the file and then simply close it. So now we've got a Content.Xml file that you've edited to move the scenery up here to the top layer. All we have to do is to put it back in its original location in the simulation. But before we do that, we need to back up the original file in the simulation. So if this all goes wrong, you can simply get back to what you had before. So here's our original, and we don't want to lose this. So what we do is we click on it, then right click, we click rename, okay, and where there's a dot there, you can see there's a dot between, it says Content.Xml. We're going to cancel that and put a slash there, then go to the end of the file, put a dot, and then do BAK, which stands for backup. Press enter and you'll get that warning to say you want to change it. You click yes. So now we have a backup of the original file that we don't want entered in this area. So the last thing to do is to go back to our folder where we created the new one, select it, right click, select copy, go back to the local cache folder, select paste, and there we are. We now have the edited Content.Xml file that you've just edited, and you can then open Flight Simulator and see if it cures the problems you might have with the double runways or the layering. It's not the solution for everybody. Sometimes it doesn't work. It has worked for me on a number of occasions, but I just basically wanted to do this just to show you how you can edit this particular file quite safely. If I open it again, you can see there's a particular way that it's done. This is coding for this particular file, and you need to change as little as possible. The top here, top bit of code must stay the same, and the bottom bit of code that closes the actual edited file also must stay the same. But when you open it, here you can see the method, or basically the type of writing that it is that you must have. Whatever scenery you put in here to send to the top must be entered in using this method and this sort of typing here. And then once you've done that, all you need to do is reorder the priority as I've shown here. So there you are, that's how you do that. Now if that doesn't work, and you've had enough and it just doesn't work and you don't want to do it, all you need to do is delete this within the folder, go to your backup file, right click, select rename, and in this case we delete the back and the dot, and then we go to the middle, we delete the hyphen and we put a dot, and then click away, and you'll get this, once again you'll get this extension message. Click yes, and you've now got your original Content.Xml file back the way it was before we did any changes. So there you go, a short tutorial about how to edit the Content.Xml file, where to find it in Flight Sim 2020, and how to do it safely. I can't stress enough that you need to make a backup copy of your original .xml file and place it somewhere in an empty folder or on the desktop. I created a folder there called empty, where I put the XML file and the scenery I was going to edit in there. And then once you've done that, you can edit the file safely, knowing that you're not going to ruin your simulator. And then also you have a copy of the scenery there, so you can see the scenery name. There's the copy of the scenery, and here you can see the scenery and how it's named in the scenery folder, and that's the order, that's the text that you want to put into the Content.Xml file when you edit it. Once again, here we are showing you the Content.Xml file with the changes we've made, and here you can see this is the full name of the folder containing the Salzburg RD preset scenery, and we've set it at the top but below the Navigraph base priority here, and we've used the same writing method as we have in the others that are already existed, but all we've done is change the priority numbers so that they're sequential. So there you go, folks, a quick tutorial there. I hope that helps some people. Like I said, it doesn't work in every case, but sometimes it's useful moving the scenery to the top layer. It knocks out double runway situations in some scenery products. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.